Everyone. This is Tulio Siragusa with Dojo Live. Welcome to the recap show. It is Monday, August 10th, 2020. Hey, Carlos, welcome to the show. Carlos
Thank you,
joining me
Tulio.
from just outside Mexico City, and I am broadcasting from Los Angeles. We had three amazing shows last week. Um, the topics were as follow. Can we cure cancer with artificial intelligence? We spoke with Mark Collins about that. Manufacturing and flexibility capacity through on-demand labor. We spoke with Noah Labhart. And finally, buyer's remorse. Why ERP software purchases don't meet expectation and how to avoid the problems with Chris Doig. So the one that stood out the most for me was actually the Noah Labhart was talking about on-demand labor. So we know about applications for knowledge workers, Upworks, Fiverr, and other types of solutions like that. And even for labor, you have the TaskRabbits of the world, which are predominantly catering to consumers. But if you're a business and you're a manufacturer or a construction company, or for the matter of fact, a demolition cleanup company, and you have the need for on-demand additional capacity for whatever reason, it could be a seasonality, it could be a local disaster that happened that needs to be taken care of. There's not a whole lot of options for that. And so they've created this company that allows businesses to be able to ratchet up on-demand capacity for manufacturing, for construction, for blue labor work, basically, in essence, to provide additional capacity. And I just love that they found a way to apply the Uber technology approach to on-demand labor for something that is otherwise kind of a miss. We always focus on the knowledge workers for online application, but it's good to know that there are now options for individuals who do very important things like construction or manufacturing. That's the one that stood out the most for me. What stood out for you, Carlos?
Yeah, well, I was about to tell you about I'm very aligned to variable, the one you're mentioning, and but specifically when we talked about that this platform or this business model could be used for for other more dramatic scenarios like disasters. You mentioned the what happened in Lebanon recently, so I'm wondering to what extent we this can be stretched, in other scenarios like that require a larger workforce, like physical labor that is not necessarily constrained by either manufacturing facility or something like that. So that's like personally that I felt attracted to the most to explore that possibility. But also the one with Mark Collins from Helomics, and we were talking about how. It's a similar situation, like how far we can stretch AI, and what are our fears of getting into unknown, uncharted territory with AI and things that have to do with such delicate matters as cancer and other illnesses. So Mark was very clear on the fact that audiences or patients should be aware of the yeah, it is a promising technology, but it has also its limitations. So in that sense, uh, the the hope level should be nicely balanced, and because it could be something, no one likes to be deceived when it comes to trying to find a solution for these very serious health challenges. So we talked about that, and then that I personally wondered, where is this going to take us? So we've had similar conversations in the past about AI in health matters. So I'm always intrigued about what's going to happen, and I think that uh, Mark's approach to at least the outlook of curing cancer with artificial intelligence. Although I'm not an expert in the subject, but what I can tell you is that I'm going to be on the lookout for what's in store, what Mark brings to the table, and see how big data and element and other more specialized tech-related aspects add to this particular approach, to say the least. So that's what kind of pulled my attention to Leo.
Yeah, I thought his approach was very pragmatic in essence on how to use artificial intelligence. You can't get to a cure without first at least identifying proper treatment. So if you're able to collect massive amounts of data and you can begin to study that across variables, and over time you can start to identify the right treatments for various types of, in this case, cancer. And they felt pretty close to be able to predict, for example, what someone might need as the right treatment, because there's people who do recover and there's people who don't. And it makes you wonder, why do the people who recover, did they get the right treatment versus those who didn't get the right treatment in time? So technology can certainly play a big role in helping to reduce the morbidity from that kind of a disease, but it also called for the need to share data, and that's a critically important path to success. The walls have to come down between countries in order for that kind of massive amounts of data to be collected and analyzed and appropriately put into a model that can help everyone all over the world with appropriate measures or appropriate treatments. And certainly that's a step towards eventually using this for scientists to be able to permutate in various formulations to eventually find some cures. So very hopeful in that, and again, calls for collaboration. The other show we had was with Chris Doig, and we talked about why ERP software should be an investment, not a cost, and was encouraging organizations to first set out a plan and a strategy on what it is that this particular enterprise resource planning software is supposed to do to help enhance the way the organization is operating. So put a lot of emphasis on preparation, strategy, communication, and also the thing that stood out the most was the importance of going across the organization at every level of the organization and getting input and feedback from the end users. Often what a lot of companies do is they make a decision at the top and push down, here's what's been done, here's the new software, here's the new platform, and push that down to the organization. There's like a compliance process that companies go through that could be avoided if there was some planning, some planting, some seeds, and some input from the actual end user. So I thought that was very encouraging and a different approach that I have seen in 31 years in tech, which is predominantly, hey, let's do this top down. It was more like, hey, bottom up, get people involved, because those are the guys who are going to actually use the software. Get them involved, get them to give the input, and really think through and plan out what you're trying to accomplish. And then the investment becomes a way to automate or a way to make things in life easier. Any comments from you as we're coming up on time?
No, well, not really, Tulio. I think you covered it very nicely. The only thing that I would dare to add is that I would like to take the few seconds that we have remaining in the show to encourage the viewers to join us here on the recap show. You can participate. You can be on one of the squares right here. You can join me and Tulio and myself on the show, along with other co-hosts that we have occasionally. So please join us. We'll be looking forward to having you here as a guest on the recap show.
Yes. And what do we got coming up this week, Carlos?
Absolutely. We got a full week, Tulio, next week, by the way. On Tuesday, we're going to have, let's see who we have. Okay, we're going to be speaking with Shane Riedel and Felipe Garcia, the CEO and CTO, respectively, of I'm sorry, I just missed the company. It should be right here. I usually have it at hand, folks. Please bear with me. So we're going to be speaking of Elucidate. That's the name of the company, Elucidate. And that's on Tuesday at 1 o'clock. And also Wednesday, we're going to be speaking. I look forward to this one too, because we're going to be speaking with Kimberly Wiefling. And I quote from her LinkedIn profile is, she shocks people into fixing predictable and avoidable leadership, team, and organizational culture issues that will damage or destroy them. So this doesn't get any more exciting than that. And that's also
it should be an interesting conversation for sure.
Exactly. That's on Wednesday. And on Thursday, we'll be speaking with Jeff Haney, the co-founder and CEO of Pinpoint. We don't have the topics yet, but as soon as I have them, I'll upload them to the website. But again, it's another Dojo Live, a set of 3 conversations on Dojo Live. So should be as interesting as ever. Thank you, Tulio.